A man must have a quest. He needs something to work toward, something to aim for. Otherwise, he will slip into idleness and lose himself in the distractions of the world. Because when a man has no meaningful target, his energy does not disappear. It turns against him. It becomes restlessness, anxiety, frustration he cannot explain. He wakes up with nowhere important to go. So he looks for something to make the day easier to endure. Another distraction. Another temporary pleasure. Another hour spent consuming someone else's life because he does not know what to do with his own. And for a moment, the emptiness becomes quieter. But it does not leave. It waits beneath the noise. And when the distraction ends, he often feels worse than he did before. Because pleasure can entertain a man, but it cannot give him direction. It does not provide meaning to one's life. A man needs something greater than comfort. He needs a reason to wake up, something to put all of this time and energy towards. He needs a quest, a mission. Because aimlessness leaves a man lost. But sometimes he does not appear lost from the outside. He may look busy. He may appear to have endless possibilities in front of him. Yet he still cannot move. Because having many options is not the same as having direction. Too many options without clear priorities create their own kind of prison. Every path remains open, so none of them are chosen. Every decision feels as though it might close the door on another life. So the man remains where he is, thinking, comparing, preparing to prepare, and calling his indecision patience. But beneath the hesitation is a simpler truth. He has no direction. But a purpose changes that. It takes the scattered energy of a man and gives it one direction. It tells him what can be ignored, what must be refused. Because a man must prioritize his time and focus his attention. He cannot stay distracted, pulled in every direction. He has to choose one path and let the others go. And when deciding upon your quest, do not allow others to dictate what it should be. Allow it to be the direction you truly want to go. Your quest does not have to look impressive to anyone else. It does not need to sound grand when you explain it. It may be becoming the strongest father your children could have. It may be building a business. What matters is that it is your quest and no one else's, and that it gives your days structure. It calls you beyond comfort. It makes you more able to endure the harder times. Because a man can carry a difficult life when he understands what the difficulty is for. But without a purpose, the pain feels pointless. Sacrifice feels unfair, and discipline feels like punishment. But when a man knows what he is building, the meaning of hardship begins to change. The early morning is no longer just exhaustion, it is preparation. The missed distraction is no longer deprivation, it is protection. A quest does not make suffering pleasant. It makes suffering useful. And you do not need to know the end of the road before you begin. That is where many men become trapped. They believe purpose must arrive as a complete revelation, a perfect vision, a voice telling them exactly what their entire life should become. But purpose is often quieter than that. Sometimes you must choose a direction before you fully understand where it will lead. Then, as you work, the road reveals itself. Your quest may begin as the defining mission of this chapter, and then it may grow into something that carries you for decades. Or it may prepare you for a calling you cannot yet see. But you will not discover it by standing still. You discover direction through movement. You learn what matters by seeking new experiences. So choose a worthy path and don't look back. Once a man finds his quest, his priorities change. And when his priorities change, his relationships with comfort, time, and other people begin to change with them. Conversations that once filled an evening begin to feel empty. Distractions that once seemed harmless begin to look like pieces of his future being traded away. And the people around him may not understand. They remember who he was, and they are comfortable with that version. But the man with a quest starts moving differently, because he cannot remain fully available to everything. He cannot say yes to every invitation. He cannot keep spending his best hours doing things that are not building his life. And this is where the lonely chapter begins. He becomes too different from the people he used to be around. But he is not yet built enough to enter the world he is trying to reach. He stands between identities. The old life no longer fits. The new life has not yet opened its doors. And for a while, it may feel like there is nowhere to belong. This is the chapter most people do not prepare for. They imagine the pursuit as a short sequence of dramatic struggle, a few difficult months, a few late nights. Then the world finally sees what they have become. But real transformation does not move like a scene in a film. The chapter you believe will take 5 months, may take 5 years. It may take longer. There may be no visible evidence for a long time. No applause. No audience. Sometimes the only person rooting for you is you. And you have to learn how to continue anyway. Because people often root for you once you won. But before that, many will doubt. Some will mock. Some will try to call you back toward the comfortable road. But do not bend simply because the lonely road has become painful. You already know where the comfortable road leads. It leads back to the life that made you feel lost. And that is not where you want to be. Feeling alone does not always mean you chose the wrong path. Sometimes it means you finally chose a path important enough to finally give your full attention to. Exceptional men are exceptions for a reason. They are not shaped by the approval of the crowd. They forge their own path, believing in the quest they have set out upon. But belief alone is not enough. A quest without work becomes another fantasy. The mission only begins to take shape when the work begins. So take action. Find your purpose. Then do so much work that success becomes the only logical outcome. Because the fastest way to deserve and achieve what you want is to become the kind of man capable of carrying it. And capability is built through experience. Volume reduces the role of luck. The more attempts you make, the more lessons you collect. The more lessons you collect, the less often you repeat the same mistake. The more skill you build, the more opportunities you can recognize. And the better you become, the more likely the world is to respond. You cannot control every outcome, but you can do enough work that luck becomes a small factor over your life. Control the controllable. the hour you begin, the skill you practice, the standard you accept. Because there is peace in knowing you have done everything within your power. The beginning will often feel unfair, but the beginning is the hardest part. You have little experience to lean on and little skill to support. But the more you try and the more experiences you gather, the better you become. Those early trenches are not meaningless. The small skills you build there become reliable weapons later on. The random experience you thought was useless becomes the exact advantage you need. And nobody can learn those lessons for you. Only you can. You have to move. This work needs doing, and no one else is coming to do it for you. Sometimes you will feel as though you have nothing going for you. No money, no network, no clear advantage. But when your mind begins to think like this, you must reframe your thinking. Because feeling like you have nothing going for you also means you have nothing to lose. And if you have nothing to lose, there is nothing holding you back. Every position carries an advantage if you are willing to look for it. If you are young, use your time, energy, and freedom to take more chances. Use the years where recovery is easier and responsibility may be lighter. If you are experienced, use your knowledge, use your judgment, use the mistakes you have already made. If you are starting from nothing, use your freedom. If you carry responsibilities, let them sharpen your focus. Let them become a reason to stop wasting time, rather than an excuse to remain still. Every season gives a man an advantage. Do not waste yours. Fear will tell you to wait. It will turn the unknown into something enormous. But fear often looks largest while it remains vague. From the outside, it can seem a mile wide. Once you step into it, you may discover it is only an inch deep. Starting turns vague anxiety into specific problems, and specific problems can be solved. The moment you begin pulling the thread, the unknown starts becoming tangible. You discover the first obstacle, then you solve it. You discover the next weakness, then you train it. Movement converts fear into information. That is why the distance between thought and action matters. The intelligence of a man can be measured by how quickly a man turns what he knows into what he does. The longer the distance, the more room fear has to grow. The shorter the distance, the more powerful he becomes. Shrink the gap between waking and beginning. Shrink the gap between deciding and acting. Do not spend an hour getting ready to do 20 minutes of work, because getting ready can become another form of hiding. Starting is the perfect condition, and the work needs doing. So begin. A question that may help in identifying your purpose is this. Ask yourself, what would I do if failure was impossible? If you couldn't fail at anything, what would you do with your life? What path would you begin walking? Now ask yourself, what is holding me back from doing that right now? Is it fear of failure? The decision that frightens you may be pointing toward the larger life you secretly want. But that does not mean every fear should be followed blindly. It means fear should be examined rather than obeyed. Play out the worst case logically. Ask what would actually happen. Ask whether failure would destroy you or teach you. Because most regret does not come from attempts that failed. It comes from the life a man never lived. the door he never opened. So do not let fear get in the way of living the life you've always dreamed of. Normalize failure as part of the quest. The man who defines himself by what happened to him will always feel powerless. The man who defines himself by what he chooses to make happen will rise again. Winners are not men who control every event. They are men who keep responding with action. And there are no shortcuts. You cannot avoid the hard path, but still get the life it builds. You cannot avoid sacrifice and still build something worthy of your life. The fastest shortcut is to stop looking for shortcuts. Accept the road. Accept that the unseen work is unavoidable, because this is where your character is built. The purpose you pursue is not the only thing that matters. There is also the man you become while on this journey. The journey will teach you patience without passivity, discipline without applause, confidence without constant validation. A meaningful purpose is worth leaving everything on the field for, because even before the outcome arrives, the pursuit begins saving you from the man you might have become without it. Lost, idle, distracted. So choose something worthy. Choose something that requires you to grow. Choose something that gives your strength a direction. Then stop waiting for complete certainty. You will discover more through movement than you ever will through endless thought. Begin with the direction you can see. Let action reveal the rest. And when the road becomes lonely, keep going, because that feeling will pass. When the work remains invisible, keep building. When the old life calls you back, remember where that road leads. Keep moving forward. Keep doing the work. Make the attempt. Shorten the gap between thought and reality. Find your quest, then do so much work that success becomes the only logical outcome. Use the advantages of your season, and do not waste this opportunity. There will be no perfect time, because starting is the perfect condition. There will be no one coming to carry the burden for you. This work needs doing, and it is yours to do. A man must have a quest, because a worthy pursuit gives shape to the value already inside him. It takes his energy and gives it direction. It takes his suffering and gives it meaning. And you do not need to know every step. You just need to put one foot in front of the other and move forward. You do not need the outcome promised. You just need to know that the pursuit is worth your effort. The quest will not only take you somewhere, it will gather the scattered pieces of your life and teach them to move as one. And when the world offers you distraction, you will have something greater to return to. When comfort asks you to abandon the road, you will remember why you began. So find the quest. Choose the path. Begin the work. And give your life something worth moving toward.